known Clinton ally Capricia Marshall for an unspecified role. Let's bring in Democratic strategist Kevin Chavez and Republican congressional candidate Anna Paulina. Luna, thank you for joining us this morning. Kevin, you first. Why Hillary?
I think it's too early for Mike Bloomberg to even be thinking about who his VP would be. He's got to at least get on the ballot in some of these early states. I don't think that it would make much sense for Clinton to be the vice presidential pick. She's very polarizing, and I don't even think she would have an interest in this. So to me, I think it's very low chance that she would be the nominee. But I think him adding Capricia Marshall makes sense because she's got connections to the establishment and can help him sort of reach out to the voters he needs to touch, like African-American voters, like Hispanic voters, people who will be key to his success. But I think it's way too early for him to even be thinking about a VP at this point.
Well, maybe they were putting it out there as like a trial balloon, right? See how the public reacts.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you something else, and we heard this in the Steve Bannon bite, this personal vendetta against President Trump. And I'm just curious, does hate really get someone to the polls, or is it more positive enthusiasm that gets someone to vote?
I think that it's very hate-driven, and I say that because, you know, what I find on a regular basis is that with someone like Hillary Clinton, with someone like Bloomberg, this is extremely personal. We're seeing this on a lot of what they're posting on social media. We see this on a regular basis, and it goes back to really what happened in 2016. America's divided, and Hillary Clinton wants to be in office. So I absolutely think this is a driving force. I think it's very personal between these two people, and I think that it's going to continue until President Trump wins again in 2020.
All right, let's go back to Nevada, the next caucus, basically the third state to vote, Kevin. And if you look at the latest polls, there's not many coming out of Nevada, but you do have Bernie Sanders on top, beating number 2 Joe Biden by 7 percentage points. But what we've seen, Kevin, is no big bounce for any of these candidates. Why not?
Well, part of the reason is that there's been such a dispute over who really won. We know Iowa was a disaster, and then in New Hampshire, Bernie Sanders had a close victory, but not many delegates were at stake. So even with Nevada, it's not that big of a state. It won't make or break anyone's chances. But I think Bernie Sanders is in good shape. He probably will win. He lost in 2016, but he's been very consistent with his polling there. But watch out for someone like Tom Steyer, who surprisingly has been polling very well, ahead of actually Klobuchar and Buttigieg, who, to your point, has not gotten the bump you would think he would get, or even that she would get, based on their performance in the first 2 states. So I think Bernie Sanders probably should win and would be expected to win based on how he's been doing so far.
Yeah, the thing with Nevada, though, Anna, is that it's a third Latino, which means this is the first time we're hearing from a minority population. How do you think that helps or hurts Joe Biden? Because he's the one who's supposed to do well in Nevada and more specifically in South Carolina. Basically, that's his firewall, those southern states as well.
You know, I don't think Biden will do particularly well in Nevada, and I say that because if we look at what Bernie Sanders has been doing, he's literally been propping the Hispanic voice up on a platform, having members of Congress like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez come out to really target the Hispanic demographic, and that's so important. I don't think that Biden has that connection that Bernie has with the Hispanic demographic, and frankly, I know a lot of people affiliate Biden with Obama, but with what his outreach and how he's been really working, I don't think that he's going to do particularly well.
Anna, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us this President's Day. We appreciate it. Have a good day.
Well, after the Iowa debacle.